Tottenham update, and let's start off with some injury news. And it's another day in paradise, people. Not this injury news, there's a Tottenham update injury news. It's just another day in paradise for Tottenham Hotspur. Paul O'Keefe gave us an update yesterday saying Basuma has a slight hamstring strain and they're awaiting more scan results. And as of today, in the last hour, Paul O'Keefe says that Pape Matar had to pull out of training today and he's unsure of the extent of the issue. I mean, whenever there's good news, there's bad news around the corner at Tottenham Hotspur. And in the more positive news, Romero did return back to training today. And Paul O'Keefe also did say that the plan and the hope is for Mickey van der Ven to return to full team training next week. And pretty much in line with the news that we brought you over the last couple of weeks with van der Ven and Romero.
Yeah, well, just obviously positive with Anfield coming up. We're going to absolutely desperately need them. And that's obviously a massive game, pivotal to our season and potentially Ange's job as well. So the fact that Romero's back in training today, van der Ven set to be back in training next week, that's really, really positive. And we're desperate to get them back playing again because we've missed them. But obviously, I said to you off air before the stream, I said, Romero's back, Bentancur's back, the laws of the universe state we have to lose someone now because that's how things have been going. And then literally about 10 minutes after I said that, we hear the news Pape Matar has pulled out of training. Not my fault, it's the laws of the universe. Blame them. It's the football gods.
You tempted the
gods.
They've
been
tempted
cursing
them. You tempted them.
Usually if you say what's going to happen, the gods have to do the opposite. But the gods followed what I said, unfortunately.
So you are, what are you saying? You're one of the gods.
Maybe I'm one of the gods, but yeah, let's just hope it's nothing serious. We don't know the extent at the moment, as you say, so let's hope it's maybe a precaution or anything. But obviously, the way things have been going for us, Brennan and Basuma both got injured. I think. Actually, they didn't get injured in training, but obviously they got injured with niggles, and then all of a sudden they're both out for 2-3 weeks. I think Werner picked up something in training, didn't he? And he's out for 3 weeks. So it's terrible news, and obviously we're going to have to be relying on the midfielders now. That situation's getting worse and worse, obviously, by the game, with Basuma getting injured. Obviously, Decky's been have to use out wide a lot of the time. Luckily, we still got Bentancur, Maddison, Bergvall, Bergvall's playing very well at the moment. Bentancur back is obviously a massive boost. And I guess the theory will be when Romero and van der Ven are back and even when Ben Davies is more fully fit, Gray will then step into midfield. But then I also think that's probably unlikely because Gray, once that happens, I think Gray's going to have to fill in at fullback more often so we can give the fullbacks a break. So it's a terrible situation again. It's getting worse, but yeah, what can we do at this point? We're just losing players all the time. Even when players are coming back, we lose another 1 or 2 every time, and the numbers are not settling down at the moment.
Yeah. In terms of transfers, we brought you some news about Tyler Dibling yesterday, and Florian Plettenberg was the guy that brought us the news yesterday, and he's followed up on that. And he says Tottenham are currently the biggest competitor to RB Leipzig in the race for Tyler Dibling, as exclusively revealed. Southampton have rejected all offers so far and want to extend his contract beyond 2027. Leipzig are aware of the strong competition, especially from England, but pushing to sign the 18-year-old super talent from Southampton. Dibling is currently injured and is expected to be fit in a few weeks. Sky Sports have said that Southampton will not entertain any offers lower than £55 million for Tyler Dibling this month. He has been linked to RB Leipzig and Tottenham. Do you reckon Spurs would be willing to go north of 55 million for Tyler Dibling?
I think maybe at the end of the season. First of all, I think at the end of the season he'll be a bit cheaper. I reckon especially if they go down. I don't think they're going to be spending 55 million on him right now because he's injured. And the theory is the reason why you would spend that bit extra for him is so you can help us out in the immediate future. And if you can't do that, then I don't see the point in paying that little bit extra for him. So I think Tottenham. I wouldn't be surprised if they, try and go for a permanent with a loan back to Southampton and get him at the end of the season. I can't see them paying 55 million for him to come right now when, as I say, he can't play for at least a month. So I don't see that happening right now. But I'd love him.
Actually, a month that he's out for.
That's what I'm hearing.
Because Sky Sports have said a few weeks.
I heard 4 to 6 weeks. That's what I read. Either way, I think he's a brilliant player. I think he'd be a really good signing. He's got massive potential, big future. I think he's been brilliant for Southampton. I'm in favour of this signing, albeit, on paper it's another 18-year-old, and again we do need more experience. But when that kind of talent's there, I'm not surprised that we really want him. But I just don't think we will sign him right now for 55 million. I don't see that happening.
Yeah, it's mad though. A price like 55 million. I know Tyler Dibling's been brilliant this season, but 55 million does seem a bit steep.
It is. Yeah, you're overpaying. You'd be overpaying to get him out mid-season for sure.
Next up, we're going to talk about a name on a lot of journalists' lists at the moment, and that is Matheus Cunha. Sammy Mockbell says that Cunha is on the radar of Nottingham Forest, Chelsea, Tottenham and Arsenal. I can categorically say right now, I can pretty much confirm that Tottenham are not going to be getting Matheus Cunha in this January transfer window or ever, to be honest. You've had Arsenal, heavily reliable Arsenal, ITK, saying that he's had a personal terms agreed with them, and we've just heard now, as of a few minutes ago, that Nottingham Forest have just put a club record fee transfer bid in for Matheus Cunha as well. And look, he ain't coming to Spurs, that's for sure.
No, I can't see us basically being an attractive proposition for him when he's at a club right now who is also, in weird to say, but they're in a similar position to Tottenham in the table. So I don't think he'd want to transfer one mess of a situation to another. I think he wants to go to a settled side who's competing near the top, and he wants to obviously progress his career. I do think he can do that at Tottenham, but I think it's a tough sell right now, obviously, because of the situation we're in. Obviously, I do think he could fit into more of the way Ange plays, and I think he'd be a great signing for us. And I think in different circumstances, we would be an attractive proposition. But right now, with Arsenal win for him, I don't see us, I don't see us winning that battle. And also, even just from a monetary point of view, I don't see us paying more than the other team. So, yeah, we're not getting Cunha, that's for sure.
They were saying that Ben Jacobs said yesterday that Wolves want 80 million for Cunha in this January transfer window. It looks like he's kicking up a fuss. He's desperate to leave in this window.
They're going to be desperate to hang on to him. They're in a massive fight for relegation. If they lose him, that's like, I mean, it's hard to say. I mean, I know Ipswich are not great, but like, if they lose Cunha, where are the goals coming from? How are they going to stay in this league? They're losing games every week as well. So I think they're going to fight tooth and nail to keep him. And apparently he agreed a contract with Wolves, and now he's reneging on it.
Yeah.
He doesn't want to sign it, and it's a bit of a messy situation there. So I've got a feeling he'll stay this month, to be honest.
Do you think so?
I think so, because I can't see Wolves allowing that to happen.
But if he's so desperate to leave and he's going to kick up a fuss and stink out the place,
tell him that we'll sign a contract and we'll put a release clause in for you. That's what I think might happen. And then in the summer you can leave. But I think right now, you can say, I mean, unless I don't know who they're going to sign right now in the next couple of weeks that can impact the game like Cunha can. But the risk is, right, you lose him and then you don't have a player of his quality. It's going to be a lot harder. What's going to be harder, essentially, to replace a player of Cunha's quality in the next week to give their best chance to stay up, or to convince Cunha to give them another 6 months and try his best to keep them up and play like he's been doing all season and leave in the summer. I think they'll probably go the latter.
But it doesn't have to be one of those two situations. It could be a situation as well where he ends up staying. They end up forcing him to stay, and he just completely stinks out the place and downs tools for the next 6 months, and they go down.
I'm not saying there's a choice between those two. I'm saying you're a club like Wolves. Those are two paths you can go down. Either you fear he's going to down tools, and so you try and replace him with any sort of similar quality from now to the end of the season, or you force him to stay within the knowledge that obviously he still needs to keep up how he's been playing to get that big move in the summer, and you can try and get him back on side for 6 months and try and convince him to do that. So what side are you going to go down? I think they'll probably go down the latter, because they know even if he stinks out the place for 6 months, they'll probably still get a big fee anyway in the summer regardless. So they're better off trying to basically keep hold of him and get him back on side, I think.
Yeah, we'll have to wait and see how it plays out. But I do have a feeling that he might end up leaving in this January transfer window. But yeah, not long to go. 22nd of January, we'll see where he ends up. But yeah, he ain't coming to Spurs, that's for sure. A publication called The Sun, not a very reliable one, is saying that Tottenham are still understood to be monitoring Jack Grealish's situation at Manchester City. Johan Lang was instrumental in the transfer that took Grealish to City from Aston Villa at that time for 100 million. I actually can see potential legs in this, like towards right at the end of the window, a potential loan if Man City are desperate to get him out the door.
Obviously, with Savio's upturn in form, Grealish is finding it hard.
Doku as well.
Yeah, Grealish is finding it hard to get into the team. So I think unless Man City are obviously, they got Mamouche through the door now, of different kind of position, but he's kind of a versatile forward. Is that going to limit Grealish's minutes even more? Is there legs to it? I still find it hard to believe. Are they going to pay the wages to allow Grealish to come to Tottenham? I would obviously take him. I think it would be a brilliant signing, and I think he's one of those players I think Ange can really do a lot with, in my opinion. I think it would really suit how we play. I just find it hard to believe that Grealish will be in a Tottenham shirt come this end of the window. I just don't see it happening. I don't know if City will sell him or allow him to come to us on a deal that suits us, to be honest. Are they that desperate to get him out the door, like a Rashford situation? I don't know. Maybe, but we know he's been in bad form. We know that Pep has been quite public in some criticism of him. So they're definitely not all as well there, that's for sure. But come the end of the window, are they going to basically pay half his wages and allow Tottenham not to pay a massive loan fee for him to come here? I'm not sure that's going to be the case.
I just feel like with players coming through the door right now at Man City, with the emergence of the players that you're talking about as well, I just feel like there's going to be little to no minutes in the second half of the season for Jack Grealish. And if that's the case, what good is it that him there just sitting there doing nothing, where they could get at least a portion of his wages off the books for a team as well that have no sort of danger to Man City? So I'm not saying it's going to happen. I just say it's more of a possibility than maybe it has been in the past.
Yeah, that's probably true.
Who have we got to talk about? And last but not least, Sky Sports are saying that Tyrese Hall is expected to complete a loan move before the end of the transfer window. Clubs in the Championship, League One and the SPL are weighing up possible moves. Hall is highly rated by Spurs and it's likely that they will sanction a move in order to provide the player with a taste of a consistent first-team football. And I, massively in favour of that. Yeah,
and it's a shame he didn't maybe get a loan move in the summer, because there's a lot of talk about him, especially at the back end of last season. He made some appearances in pre-season as well. I think he's clearly a massive talent. Some people even arguing, I saw some people who follow the youth team closely, were even arguing he's the biggest talent we have in that setup. That's including with the likes of Lancashire and Donnelly and all these people. That's what a lot of people are saying. So unfortunately, he's been with the under-21s for this season, and they haven't been obviously in the same level as last season, because a lot of the players have moved on to loan moves and things like that. So I don't know how his progression's been affected, but I think a loan spell would be brilliant for him, and I'm really excited to see how he develops.
And that is it.
You didn't talk about our new signing.
Who's our new signing now?
Rolling Stones. Here we go to the Tottenham Stadium.
God, I prefer
massive
not to
signing.
Be honest.
What a signing!
Mick Jagger's gonna form such a great cohesion with the rest of our front line. Some experience to add to our front line.
Yeah,
finally.
proper front man there. Proper front man.
Exactly.
So can't wait for him to start banging in the goals.
You know what I mean? You know what I mean? We're just like this club. So we'll announce all the best acts in the January transfer window, but there's no best acts coming on the pitch.
That's right.
But that is your Tottenham update for today. Let me know in the comment section below your thoughts regarding all the news stories we brought to you today, and we move on.